Hey guys, I'm going to take a crack at restoring this GE212 radio I picked up recently. Cabinet's in pretty good shape. Seems to be some issue with the dial pointer here. I gotta get the chassis out and see what's what. I can tell that some pieces have broken off and fallen inside. Plastic wraparound is in good shape. I think that'll clean up nicely with some Novus number 2 plastic polish. I would like to refinish the cabinet someday to match my GE810 TV. I use the same toner lacquer. My problem though is that there's a decal and logo here. When I strip this I'll lose those, so I'll look around online. Maybe somebody makes some reproduction water slide decals. But at any rate, I want to get it working before I bother with any of that. Still has the original back, kind of a neat label here. For best performance, always choose General Electric electronic tubes. And here's the antenna. FM dipole, and this is probably the AM antenna. I went online to Nostalgia Air and got the schematic servicing info and revision changes. Schematic's not so great though. One, it's kind of small and hard to read. Two, they don't actually have the values listed for the electrolytic. Not on the schematic and not in the parts list. It just says C37, sections A, B, C, D. So hopefully there are markings on the can so I know what to replace them with. It's a series filament set. There's no power transformer. See here all the tube filaments just strung up in series right across the AC line. So a little bit dangerous when you work on these because, as you can see, here's the power cord, and one side goes through a power switch and then right to the chassis. So depending on which way you plug in the power cord, the chassis could be hot. Ideally, use a polarized plug, and then you can have the neutral going to the chassis. Problem with that though is then you'd be switching the neutral, and the hot would always be going through the set. So an even better idea might be to rearrange this a bit so neutral is going right to the chassis and put the power switch on the hot side. I'll be using an isolation transformer while I work on this set. I've got an RCA ISO tap WP25. Very nice if you can find one, because not only does it have 3 isolated plugs, you can also go direct on the other side, and you can dial in different line voltages. Some of these older sets were meant to run off of lower line voltages like 110, and you can simply dial that down. So let's take the back off of this and see what's what. The seller said that it was working, but I don't dare try just plugging this in without sorry, I don't dare plug this in without reviewing the electronics first to make sure everything's up to snuff. So you've got 1, 2, 3 screws in there, just flat bladed. So take a screwdriver and get those off. While I was taking the back off, I noticed that there was some paperwork stuffed in here. So I took off the screws so I could pry this open and got it out. And it's kind of neat, some old GE info. It's a warranty and instructions, but this is for a General Electric clock, not this radio, so not too useful unless I ever get this particular clock. But kind of interesting to read. See what kind of warranty they offered back then. Alright, so got the back off, or I should say I started to. Got to be careful on these old tabletop AM radios, because often there's a loop antenna attached to the back, and this one's especially touchy because it seems to have fallen off whatever kind of adhesive there was. So I'll be very careful taking this out. It was an interlock down at the bottom on the AC line. I had to pop that off, and let's see, if I'm lucky, all the connectors for the antenna are push connectors, so I won't have to actually unsolder them. Okay, yeah, looks like the antenna is actually plugged into the chassis right down there. So try to get this off. Oh, and I said that the seller said that this set was working. I don't know that I believe that, because this cord and plug are kind of frayed and it's rusty. And it doesn't really look like anybody plugged this in, because if they had, I would have expected to see some bright marks from the rusty metal rubbing against the plug contacts. Yeah, at any rate, from what I can see, looks to be in pretty good shape. There's some debris down in here, some looks like bits of rubber, and some fuzz and stuff. So no idea what that's from, but doesn't look like anything's falling apart in here. Wow, this internal antenna looks like it's going to be quite a challenge to remount. It's concentric rectangles of what appears to be bare copper, kind of a rectangular stock bent copper, and you can see there's old grooves here of where it used to sit in. So that's going to be fun, because none of these can touch, otherwise it's shorting out that loop of the antenna. Anyways, let's look at the radio itself. See, there's mostly GE tubes, but Sylvania. So been one tube replaced at some point. Otherwise, it looks to be in pretty good shape. Let's see how it's attached. There's some screws underneath. Yep. Oh, there's also a nice label down here. The tube chart and so on. I finally got the chassis out. Getting one of the knobs off was quite a struggle. This one came off fine, but this one I had to really pull hard for quite a while. It turns out the reason why is that this knob cracked long ago, and to reinforce it, somebody had wrapped this wire around it and twisted it really tight. So this was really gripping tight on the shaft. I ended up having to squeeze in there with some needle nose and cut this so I could get this out. So I'll have to do something similar, I suppose, when I put this back together. Oh, I found the remains of the dial in here too. This must have been the centerpiece, and boy, this is just disintegrated, literally. So that must have, let's see, I'll turn this around. And this ring must have been some kind of assembly in the center here. And then this red piece is the actual pointer. This must have broken off a long time ago and then sat down here at the bottom, because it's warped to the same curvature. I'll try to straighten that out, maybe use an iron or something. And I'll have to make up some kind of new center cap, but I think you get the idea. Go on like that. Rotate around. And here's the chassis. The electrolytic is marked. It's hard to read, but the speaker's in the way, but down there are markings, so I do know what values I need for that. I like radios like this where the speaker's actually attached to the chassis rather than inside the cabinet, because you just have a nice self-contained unit while working on it and testing it. As for underneath, it's in really good shape. So it's all the original components, and I don't see anything blown. A little bit of wax oozed off one capacitor, but none of them have popped open, or none of the resistors have fried. So I think it's just a straightforward matter of replacing all these paper caps. And then, of course, the electrolytic, which is this guy down here. I'm going to try to remove these components and actually untwist the tabs and pull the cap out. And try to restuff it from the bottom up.